Good morning. This is our second assembly about the value fairness. And this week's focus is I know what fair and unfair looks like. So here's one example of what fair might be. If you look at the first picture, they've shared out the sweets unequally. So that would mean that one person would have more sweets than the other person. And that isn't fair. Whereas in the second picture, they've divided the cake into half so that each person has the same amount. And that is fair. But fairness isn't always about having the same. We looked at a picture a bit like this in last week's assembly, but if you look at the first one, all three people are different heights, so they don't need the same size box to stand on. If you look at the second picture, the first person can see without a box. The second person can see with one box, and the third person, the little child, needs two boxes to stand on to be able to see. And giving everybody what they need to be able to see, in this case, is what makes it fair. So it's about equality and equity. Equality means that everybody has the same chances or gets the same treatment, and everyone's treated equally. But you'd think that's fair, but is it always? Not really. Equity means that everyone has the same chances, just like equality, but equity also means considering different people's situations so that they are really treated fairly. And that's more what fairness is about. Fairness means that everyone has what they need to have the same chance. Have a look at this picture. So the judge is saying, this is a competition, and the judge is saying, for a fair selection, everybody has to take the same exam. Please climb that tree. So it's the same test for everybody, but is it the same? Is it fair for everybody? Is everybody equally likely to be able to do that? Well, I think the monkey might do very well, and the bird, but the others, the penguin, the elephant, the fish, the seal, and even the dog are going to find it very difficult. So it's not fair. So here's a story for you, and it's called The Fair Teacher. Albert worked in the city, earning good money. But as he walked from his first-class train compartment to work, he noticed there were people in London who had very little money at all, because they were sitting on the streets asking him for some of his. Sometimes he felt guilty about having so much when they had so little, so he sometimes gave them a few coins. Albert's job was to invest the money of rich customers to help make them even richer. Sometimes he felt it was unfair that they were incredibly rich when he was just comfortable. So he sometimes overcharged them, knowing that they had so much money they wouldn't notice. One day, Albert decided he was fed up with the whole business of people being so unequal. He was going to get a job where you could make a difference to that. So he went back to university and trained to become a teacher. And when he started teaching and came to your school, he was determined that he was going to treat all of you equally. So he made sure he learned all your names at the same time, the brightest, the naughtiest, and the quietest. He smiled at all of you the same when he saw you around the school, and he made the same effort to get to know each of you. He spent the same time helping each of you with your work, and every time any of you answered a question, he said the same thing. Well done, that's excellent. He made sure he set you all the same work and gave you all the same time to do it. And whenever someone did something wrong, he set you all the same detention. Whenever you wrote an essay, he gave you all the same grades, and at parents' evening, he said the same things about all of you. And at the end of the year, he gave every single one of you the same report. Albert was pretty pleased that he'd done such a good job of treating all of his students equally. So he was upset and puzzled when every single one of you said, in the same angry way, the same thing: "It's not fair. You treat us all the same." So obviously in this story, treating everybody exactly the same isn't fair, and that's the same in real life. Sometimes people might need a bit more help, they might need a bit more time, they might need adjustments to be made to make things fairer. Here's examples of what fairness might look like. It could be automatic doors going into a shop to make sure that everybody can get in there easily. It might be somebody needing a bit more help with their work than others, so that they can have the same chance of succeeding. It might be adapting sports or changing things so that everybody has a chance to participate. Or it might be disabled parking spaces so that people can park closer to the shops to give everybody the same chance to use the shops. And that's just a few examples. See if you can think of any more. And remember, equality is about giving everyone an equal chance, not about giving everyone an equal result. So it means giving everybody the same chances to succeed, or the same chances to do something. So just to finish, let's have a think about how you can treat people fairly at school. You can share things, share equipment. Don't cheat. If you're playing a game or if you're doing some work, don't cheat. Follow the rules. Take turns, give everybody a chance. And listen to others. Be respectful to others. Help others. Sometimes, as we said, sometimes people need more help with something. And be honest. So this week, show that you know what fair and unfair looks like.